And Cristiano Ronaldo is another person you worked with while you were working with the Man United squad. He would have been a young man, but he was mature enough to say, from working with you that, sleeping has always been one of the keys to his success, and he was always looking for ways to sleep better. Is the approach? I know it's some people sort of still focus on the quantity of sleep, and I think we can touch on that a little bit later. And there is that mantra about 8 hours, but is the focus when you're working with elite athletes about the quality of sleep as well as the quantity, and how they can, improve the quality to lead to those increases in performance?
Well, that's one of those things that I came across in my journey, and I, maybe sitting with a professor of sleep or another clinician, and it's sort of like, well, there's no sort of argument about any clinicians listening to this. There's no argument about 30% of your 24 hours as a human being. You need to be in a sleep recovery state to function. But just allocating the hours doesn't mean to say that you're going to reveal what sleep is all about. So I thought, well, how do I make that happen? And I said, well, there's so many variables. Right. So I'm a nurse. I work night shifts. I'm a surgeon. I'm a pilot. I'm a parent. How do I almost creates a fear factor that although I'm allocating the hours, I don't feel refreshed in the morning. So what went wrong? I woke up a few times and couldn't get back to sleep. Now I'm worried about that. So it's kind of, I think what it really is about that sort of 8-hour thing is no arguments about it, but with just a little bit of education at school. So parents pass it on to the children. So the children are aware of it and the teachers are aware of it, and it crops up in classes and everything. You become less fearful of sleeping and realise that there is a way to optimise its quality.
Yeah.
And you can adopt a behaviour that will do that. So just allocating the time is just not good enough. So I think a lot of people, like me in that particular time, was going, well, I know I've got to get my 8 hours, but I can't remember the last time I actually slept for 8 hours all the way through. So what's happening? Am I getting it wrong? Am I doing damage to myself? And yet I'm still, a successful director of a big company with a family and with kids. So I feel like I'm doing okay, but there's something not quite right. But I didn't know what to do with it. So I think that's where that element comes into everybody's life is if you take your focus off the amount of hours is the criteria for good quality sleep, and be able to look at it and go, well, that's what good quality sleeping should look like. How far away from that am I? And can I change my behaviour while I'm awake? That will really help that process. And there was just a number of things like chronotypes, circadian rhythms, sleeping in cycles, number of little factors that you can suddenly have that little bit of education. You change your perception of it very, very quickly, and suddenly you realise that you can optimise the quality of your sleep by focusing on other things rather than the amount of hours you're allocating to it.